Hola clase, hoy yo voy a hacerte un video nuevo porque muchos de ustedes están trabajando con sus actividades y tienes problemas. Entonces, ese es para ayudarte con más ejemplos. So I said, hello guys, I'm making another video for you because I had some feedback from activities today. I was watching some of you guys working on your activities through GoGuardian. I was checking activities in Voces, and I was responding to a lot of emails and calls from students who were struggling while going through these activities. So what I wanted to do is just kind of look at some of the big issues that were coming up and see if maybe I could try to alleviate some of those problems for you guys and just do a general, here's what's going on, here's where a lot of people are having problems and why you're having problems. So that's what this video is focusing on at the moment. So as you can see, welcome, you are now in my house tonight instead of at my mom's office, and I am currently standing in my kitchen with my lovely whiteboard behind me so that I could write you guys a couple of notes and have it all ready before I started actually talking to you so I didn't have to waste time. I'm going to try to keep this video shorter than the last one that I did because I don't want it to overwhelm you guys, and I want it to actually give you good examples that you can use and rewatch if you need to. So without any further ado, my comments from what I saw today are the big issues that I was seeing a lot of people having is number one, when you're going and you're writing your sentences, a lot of people are having spelling issues. So please be double checking that your spelling is correct. It is not going to count it or mark it as the correct response if anything is spelled incorrectly. Okay, so like your numbers, make sure that you're spelling them correctly. Make sure that all your vowels are there. Make sure that you're using the right ending. Like for instance, dies is one that I see spelled incorrectly constantly. So it's D-I-E-Z, not D-I-E-S. And a lot of people have been doing the S. So just as an example of something that I see so that you know what I'm talking about. Excuse me. Next thing that keeps coming up is to make sure that you are matching your verb and your pronouns, adjectives for gender and for singular versus plural. So we talk about this a lot actually, so I'm hoping that maybe this will ring a bell for you. But what I did is I wrote up some examples down here, and I'm actually going to move the camera down so that you can see all of them. Okay. I wrote some examples down here for you guys, and I underlined and I boxed certain parts so that I could make sure to really point things out to you. So I came up with some examples that would kind of use most of the vocabulary that you have, and that I could showcase for you some of the issues that I was seeing and just reiterate the types of words that you do need to be using. Okay, so the first one that I have for you is 8 a.m. All right, so first thing that I'm going to tell you is because I'm talking about a time that is not 1 o'clock in the afternoon or in the morning, I have to use a plural verb. So this is why I start it with son, okay? And if my verb is plural, everything that comes after it, like las, is talking about hours because the word for hour or time is hora. So hora is feminine, so if you're talking about the plural hours, it has to be son las, okay? And then I put ocho because it's 8, and then I put in punto. This is one of your new vocabulary words. In punto means on the dot, if you remember. So I'm including it in this sentence because it is 8 o'clock straight on the dot. No other minutes follow it. Okay, and then I finished it by saying de la mañana because it's 8 a.m. So of the morning was the ending phrase. For instance, a lot of you were having trouble with this on activity 16, number 1, when it was asking you to say that it was 5 o'clock. So this is one of the issues that is slowing you up if you are struggling with getting number 1 of 16 correct. Okay, you need to have son las, and then it should say cinco, and then it should say en punto, And then the computer is grading differently than what I told you is typically how we understand the difference between afternoon and evening. So they're including 5 o'clock in that window of afternoon. There we go. So instead of de la noche, it would be de la tarde. So that would be your full response for activity 16, number 1. Son las 5 en punto de la tarde. Okay, so if you're messing up on that one, or you're getting really flustered because you can't figure it out, that's the issue. Okay, part of it was not your fault. So the next one then that I have down here for you is 12:30 p.m. So this would be our afternoon time. Once again, I'm not talking about 1 o'clock, so I do have to use my plural verb, so I am going to use son again. So we're going to have son las 12 y media. Media was one of our new words. Media means half or 30 minutes, and then de la tarde to finish it out. Okay, so 12:30 in the afternoon. This next one is 7:45 p.m. And there are 2 ways that we can do this. I wrote the simplified one for you. The more complicated one is the one where you go to the hour ahead and then subtract. So I'm going to walk you through that orally, but I don't have it written on the board. Okay. So 7:45, once again, is plural, so we need to use son las, and then we're going to say 7:45 de la noche, because now we're talking about evening time, so we need to use de la noche. The other way that we would do this, and this is the most common, so when I say that this is the most common, what I mean is this is the way that you should do it, okay? Any time that passes 30 minutes, so anytime after the half hour of the hour, okay, you need to use the construction where you go to the next hour and you subtract the remaining time. All right, so that's what this is. So I would say son las 8, it's 8 o'clock, right? Menos corto, minus 15 minutes, right? And then finish it out, de la noche. Okay, 12:52 then. I did this one particularly because I wanted to give you a weird time to try to figure out, and I wrote it both ways up here so that I could show you, one, how to do it if you were just telling it like normal. It's 12:52, okay? And then 2, how to tell it when you go to the hour ahead and then subtract the time. And 3, I use this one in particular because depending upon which way you're saying it, it's either going to be son it's either going to be son or it's going to be s. And this is something that I've seen struggle occur during the homework assignment, especially on activity 17, which activity 17 is a little bit more complicated because it wants you to figure out what the actual time would be because this person's watch is set 5 minutes ahead. And then most of the times you had to go to the hour ahead and then figure out what it was minus the 5 minutes and then give the time. So that's why I wrote these 2 this way. So 12:52 a.m. becomes son las 12:52 de la mañana. So that would be if I was telling you it is 12:52 a.m. All right. If I wanted to say the other way, so it's 8 minutes to 1, this is the way that we would say it. And I boxed it, I underlined it, I put a squiggly line around it because I wanted you guys to realize that because we're talking about 1 o'clock, we had to go to the singular verb. So it became es. So es la una, and una needs to be feminine because una is describing the hour, the time, hora. Okay, so es la una menos 8, so it's 1 minus 8 de la mañana, of the morning, okay? So I put right here for you guys, this is activity 17. This is a homework example of how to go through and do that. So if you're struggling, perhaps watch this video, rewatch it if you need to as you're going through activity 17 because a lot of people were really struggling with activity 17 once they started in it. And then the last example that I gave you down here, I did this one in particular because I wanted you guys to have the singular verb again and then to use the other time phrase. So 1:15 p.m. This would be our afternoon time again. So we're going to say es la una. So it is 1:15 and 15 de la tarde, of the afternoon. Okay, so anytime you are talking about 1 o'clock, all right, you need to use es la una. The only exception to this rule is if it is past 1:30, because then you need to go to 2 o'clock and subtract the amount of time remaining. All right, does that make sense? Also be sure that if you need to say the time is something 30, that you're using media instead of 30. And if it is 15 minutes, you're using corto instead of quince. All right, does that make sense? Okay, leave me a comment if you feel like it. You could do it in the Google Classroom or on the YouTube channel itself where this will be posted. Let me know if this was helpful. Let me know if you guys would like more information. I'm just trying to give you guys a little bit more example and feedback based on what I saw today and what I heard today. So let me know if you're still struggling. Send me an email. I've been really trying to respond to those, and I was trying to be on GoGuardian a little bit today so that I could see people as they were working and try to help them as they went through. So let me know if I can help you. I want you guys to get this and do it well, and I told you this is one of the hardest things that we'll do, especially in this section, just because it is really different from how we tell the time in English, and there's a lot more thought that goes into it in Spanish because we have to take into account the subtracting. All right, so if you're struggling to get this, do not feel bad. This is a hard section, okay? And you're definitely not alone. There were a lot of people who were having a hard time. All right, I'm going to end the video now and just say if you guys need anything, reach out. I miss seeing you guys, and I hope you guys are doing well. See you later.